obviously yesterday was the first official day of practice, but I mean, we had about 20 in the summer, 20 in the fall, so feels like the 42nd day of practice. But 7 new faces. Definitely look different than last year, obviously, with the, Mash, House, and JT, who were 3 key players on the roster and them being gone. So it'll look different. Our guys, I think, are really, really excited about just last year's success, and also they see the non-conference and they know that we have to be ready. So that time of year, obviously, to get started, we'll certainly take advantage of the month of October to really, really ramp it up and to teach them just kind of what we're all about, because it feels like we hit reset every year, and that's going to be normal this time of year and with the landscape of what's going on. So, questions?
Is there a time workout, did that help in this process?
Did what workout? I'm sorry?
The summertime where...
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of different. It certainly doesn't hurt. Now, the summertime, you don't have the pressure, the stress. You don't have as many classes that you're in. You don't have as much on your plate. So, it's kind of an ease-in process. I think summertime is, I don't want to say it's easy, but you spend a lot more time in the weight room and just getting them acclimated. And then fall, obviously, they got more classes, more things to do. And I think the key for all of it, especially for newcomers, is how do they handle all of that? So you just don't really know until you do it and go through it. And we'll do our best to certainly help our guys along the way.
What's the biggest change that fans will see in this team without Mash and without House? What's the most obvious identity change?
Yeah, obviously bigger. I think we made the decision to play 3 guards, and obviously none of them are very tall by any means, but they won us 26 games. They took us to an NCAA tournament and a championship. So obviously they did a lot right. So I just think you'll see a little bit more length in the perimeter. I think we all talk about House and Mash a lot, understandably so, but losing JT obviously is another one that's hard to replace. So we definitely set out to get a little bit taller, but we'll play the 5 best guys and make it work.
It seems like the news changes every day. Yesterday started off with the AAC with their 4 teams committing back to their conference. By lunch, the Mountain West announced their schools were banding together. By 5 o'clock, Utah State's leaving the league, and then by the end of the night, there's talk about UNLV leaving. I'm just curious what your thoughts are about. It seems like every day the ground is shifting between our.
Disappointed solely from a basketball coach perspective, because I know there's so many factors, and I think every coach will look at it differently, and every student athlete will look at it differently. But I thought the men's basketball programs did an amazing job of really making the best of the situations that they had. And, first year have 4 teams in the NCAA, 1 in the NIT. Second year, 4 teams NCAA tournament, 1 in the NIT, and then 6 last year. I felt like we were really outperforming a lot of maybe that was being put into it. Not to say that we weren't being supported, but we don't have necessarily the resources that some of these other programs have. But it was awesome television. It was great to watch. The fans loved it, obviously here as well as everywhere else on the road. But decisions are being made right now that have nothing to do with men's basketball. And that's a tough pill to swallow, because I know how important this league or this program is to this community. So it is ever changing, ever evolving. Who knows, what the next hour will bring. It just kind of is what it is, and I don't think we're going to see the end of it. I think the biggest thing that we could control as an athletic department, men's basketball program specifically, is just continuing to invest. We as I said the other day to somebody, like, it's not lost on me that we were top 25 in the country in attendance. We've got amazing support, and if we continue to do that, regardless of what league we play in, where we go, all those things, I think we'll be fine. But who knows where that'll be and where that all ends up.
Coach, just like last season, somebody like JT emerged, and you had summer with the guys. Is there anybody out there that is maybe exceeding your expectations, or maybe, hey, this guy, he might be able to really do some stuff out here?
There's not one specific guy. I think JT is a potential NBA player, Mountain West Freshman of the Year. So hard to replace a guy like that, or hard necessarily to find that, And I think we have had success with high school players, whether it's, Donovan obviously is a really good player that, has been here, and we like our high school kids we brought in this year. So everybody kind of runs a different race, but obviously the production that JT was able to do, and to just come for 1 year, knock it out of the park, and then obviously move on to a bigger situation. But not one guy. We'll see. But I certainly like all that everybody's bringing so far.
Coach, we've talked about the size difference. Will you change anything that maybe you're doing offensively or defensively?
You're always going to tinker with things. I think that's what the summer and the fall and right now is for, is to mix up lineups, mix up how you're guarding things, see what kind of looks right, see what doesn't, see where guys are comfortable doing it. So will it be substantially different? I don't know about that, but there'll be some subtle changes for sure. I think one thing our coaching staff's done a pretty good job of since we've been here is just maximizing the roster and playing to our strengths, and we'll continue to look at that and do that.
I got two. I know what the date is and how far away the season is, but what's the health right now? Is the health okay?
Everybody's good. Yeah, everybody's healthy today.
Donovan is a guy that is going to be a preseason all-conference level player, and I'm curious what he's done in your mind that maybe we didn't see last year. Obviously, the real obvious kind of deficiency in his game, or maybe at least he hasn't done much of it yet, is shooting on the outside. Has he improved that at all? Has he done anything defensively or anything that we'll see that's different out of Donovan?
Well, for one, he's put on some muscle. I think his body looks great. So I think if you haven't seen him in a while, he certainly looks stronger, and he's worked very hard in the weight room. Coach Flores has done a great job with him. As for the jump shot, yeah, I think it's, when he shoots, I think there's a level of confidence now that has changed from 2 years ago. It's more about the volume at which he shoots them. He goes a while without shooting them. So we're encouraging him as much, taking the right shots certainly, but keep expanding your game. He's working on it. He's obviously an elite level passer and ball screens. The ball movement's been contagious for sure. So I just, he's made a jump from year one to year two. Hopefully he continues to make a jump because, he's got a chance. And I want him to have that sense of urgency, for him, because he's building a resume right now.
And then one other player question. Nelly was a guy that had some expectation coming in last year because he was an all-conference guy when he transferred here. I know he had the late start. Did he defer in any way? I thought by the end of the year he was playing a lot better, but was he deferring to JT because JT had emerged so much?
No, I think JT got a lot of his stuff just by finding it, throughout the flow of the game. I think if you saw that championship game, JT got some offensive rebounds where he just went and got them. Nelly looks terrific. Obviously Nelly wouldn't have been here until a month from now if it was last year. So summer's been great, fall's been great, and I think he's primed for a really, really good year. So we got to find him, got to throw him the ball down low. He's got to go get those rebounds, because I think averaging a double-double is certainly something that he should strive for.
Last year, JT was the guy that kind of emerged, at least surprised a lot of people. I'm sure he didn't for you because you knew what you were getting. But is there a player this year that could have somewhere similar an impact, a guy that we're just not used to?
Yeah, no, there's not one specific guy. I think we have 7 newcomers. I like them all. I think we have a lot of good players. Can't play everybody. Really, really hard to do that. So I think as we get closer and closer, when it's playing a scrimmage, playing an exhibition game, we'll be able to see how those guys are when we replicate some sort of competition that's not practice. But all the newcomers have absolutely impressed me in a variety of ways. But as we get closer and closer, it'll be about scouting report. It'll be about, just absorbing playbooks and schemes and being able to do that at the highest possible level.
I'm wondering, what does team chemistry mean these days in the era where rosters are year to year? Is it more just about the player's character, about being able to embrace the situation, or what do you look for when it comes to team chemistry?
Well, I think it's all connected. I mean, I think if you have high character kids, you have a better chance of getting good team chemistry. Do I think that playing dodgeball is going to win us a Mountain West title? No, I do not. Softball is great and all, but I'm not sure that's going to help us beat UCLA. So there are certainly things that we do team bonding wise, having guys over to the house to make sure they understand the family environment. But I think the best shot at doing that is to bring high quality, high character people. And I think we've done that. Now, you got to find a way as a coach to really replicate high stress situations and then see where the chemistry goes from there. So it's all good right now. No minutes have been passed out. We have not lost a game. There's been the last couple of months, everybody's telling them how great they are. We go to the NCAA tournament. So we'll see. That's the challenge for sure, as you keep starting over every single year, but everybody's dealing with it.
Coach, what is it you're most excited about this year's team? Obviously, it's a completely different team. I mean, not completely different, but you have some star players out. What makes you more excited about this year's team?
I don't think I'm any more excited about this year's team as I've been with any team. I think I'm grateful for the opportunity. Like I said earlier, 13th year being a head coach. I don't take that for granted. Somebody hired me, somebody's believed in me. This community's been great. So I can't say it's one specific thing about every team is different every season. The unknowns are so big. I mean, not one thing, but excited to challenge myself, challenge the staff to get the very, very most out of this team as best we can.
Coach, of your transfers, the one guy that seems to be getting more attention than others through whatever, Rothstein or whoever, is Phillips. Where do you play him?
He's a guard. I'm not going to play him at the 4 or the 5. He's a tall guard. So he'll be on the wing. And I think that's the beauty of our system. The 1s, 2s, and 3s are all pretty interchangeable. Phillips, he's tall. He's a very good passer. He plays really, really hard. Our offensive system is very, very similar to Arizona, which is great. Although he didn't play a lot, he certainly got those reps in practice. So I think he feels comfortable with it. He's a competitor. So I expect him to make an impact right away and be ready to go. We need him to.
Coach, I know you have, for the most part, a new team, but the guys who came back, how much does it help that they had that experience of going to the tournament and what they did at the Mountain West going into this season?
Hope it motivates them greatly. I know it motivates me. We had a average practice the other day, and instead of showing practice clips, I just showed about 5 to 10 pictures of the Mountain West Championship, of celebrating with each other, with the trophy, cutting down nets. And so that's what this program needs to be about moving forward. And in order to do that, we can't have practices like that. So it's great when you can taste some success early in the building process, and then, having True, Donovan, Mustafa, Nelly, guys that have experienced it. And then you can bring in some transfers who experience winning as well. But to see what it feels like here, that motivates me. I had a blast that mid-March there. That little run was awesome. So I want to do it again. And hopefully that motivates our guys as well.
Yeah, go back to that introductory press conference you had in the football stadium when you first got here. Is this kind of where you thought this program would be? Or are you further along than where you thought you might be at this point?
I've always said that you never really feel like it's truly your program until year 4, as crazy as that sounds. Now, that was pre-transfer portal. So I do think it is not easy to flip it. It's not easy to go to 303 to whatever mid-20s like we were and to be ranked. I'm not saying it's easy, but sustaining it may be a little bit more daunting, I guess, than necessarily having a good year or two. Now, I'm really proud of. I mean, we went to the NIT in year 2, we went to the NCAA tournament, won a championship year 3. So I never really had first of all, I didn't know what I was inheriting, and I always want to evaluate that and give everybody a chance. But certainly I am proud of the character that we have recruited here, and certainly proud of 48 wins in 2 years.
All right, you're going to love this one.
Yeah.
This is to satisfy the questions that I know are going to come. You got 3 local walk-ons. How have they developed? Is there any chance any of those 3 walk-ons get any playing time? You guys have a huge roster.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for Dylan, Daraje, and Shane. My goal is always, if we can, even if they're walk-ons, keep those guys home. You know, I really, really do value hometown kids staying home, going to their university, hopefully graduating. Hopefully those people in the community take care of them and they have a valuable experience. Now, it has changed for sure. Guys want to play, and it doesn't matter if they're walk-ons or whatever. Like, they all want to play. So Shane works his butt off. Daraje works his butt off. Dylan obviously is new. He works hard as well. You know, so we do have a lot of players, and I'm not against playing walk-ons, but certainly we have a lot of guys. But they've been very, very valuable, and hopefully they have a great experience, because that is what, you know, staying home is all about.
There's one friend in the business that you've mentioned it before in Mick Cronin. I don't know how close of friends, if you guys are talk weekly or anything kind of friends, but has any of that changed with them on the schedule?
Like, we're not friends anymore? No. We're still friends. Yeah, no, I don't. It doesn't matter who I play. You know, I hardly even look down there. You know, I know we're playing my dad and we're playing Mick, but no, Mick and I talk often. You know, he's a guy for sure. Question about a philosophical thing in recruiting, or, you know, like, I call him a lot. He's probably top 3 on my list of people that I pick their brain about. So, no, I really like him a lot. He's a phenomenal coach. I mean, the sustained success that he had at Cincinnati and now what he's doing at UCLA is amazing. So, tough second game, but I do know I'll be a better coach, and our program will be better after we play them.
Coach, we talked about Nelly and his development for this year. How about Mustafa? He started slow, ended up being the 6th man of the year. What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, there's just never a set, you know, we want you to have this many points or this many rebounds. I mean, I think anybody that was here last year and played a part in winning the championship and going to the NCAA tournament needs to have a big role. They've seen it. They've felt it. They know what it's all about. You know, so it just starts every day in practice, working your butt off every single day and helping the younger guys, you know, whether it's Jovan, Sacco, Daniel, those guys that kind of play similar positions. You know, it's their program now. And I tell them that when we have recruits on campus. You know, if we want to build sustained success, which some teams in our league have done, then it's got to start from the players first, and Mustafa's been able to do that. So I hope he has a great final year. Every kid that kind of sticks with us, you know, they all can leave. Everybody that came back last year had somebody pulling at them to say, hey, why don't you try this opportunity to do that? And they all essentially opted back in. There are no buyouts. They can do whatever they want right now. So I appreciate it. I appreciate Mustafa and Donovan and True and Braden and Q and Nelly and those guys who decided to come back. So I hope he has a great experience, and I hope he gets a lot of fulfillment out of it. All right. Thank you.